Okay, so on that first one, was that what's called a quadrantal? No. There are four, quad means four, right? There are four quadrantals. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Was one of these a quadrantal? Yes, B was a quadrantal. All right, on the quadrantal kind that I taught you yesterday, the importance points are what comma what. This is 1 comma 0. This is 0 comma 1. This is negative 1 comma 0. And this is 0 comma negative 1. Why do those matter? Because sine is which one? Sine is which letter? Sine is y. You got to get that through your head. Sine is y. Why is that so important? Because that makes cosine be x. If cosine of this spot right here, which is where 3 pi over 2 is the x, the answer was 0. How many of you had 0 for that one? Okay, good. If you get your x and y confused, obviously, you'll totally be wrong. So you got to have that down. Sine y. Say sine y. All right, good. Then, sine, how is sine y on that problem, though? Well, it actually can be. I don't do it that way, personally. For that problem, I would just draw a triangle. Where is 2/3 of the way to here? This is where pi is. So 2/3 of the way to there is about here. It's like 67% of the way there, you know, 66 point whatever. So anyway, that is 2 pi over 3, and I like to make the triangle way. If I go, that's a right triangle. This angle here must be, well, let me think. If these are 60-degree wedges, then that makes this 60 left. This was 120 degrees. So anyway, that's a 30, 60, 90. 1, 2, root 3. What's the most common mistake that I already have made? A negative. You got to watch out for the negative. There's a negative right there. Now, does it affect sine? No, because in this quadrant, it's all students take calc, and the S for sine should be positive there. So it doesn't use this, so it really wouldn't have mattered if you forgot that negative. But if I had asked you cosine, it would have. Mental note for next hour, I'll try to do cosine of 2 pi over 3. Anyway, so now, the final answer, sine is opposite of hypotenuse, root 3 over 2. Raise your hand if you had root 3 over 2 for that one. Okay. All right. And then the last one, which is C, is the hardest one. Sine is negative a half. Here's how I do the problem. Just see if you did the problem the same way as I do the problem. As long as you get the right answer, it's okay if you do it different ways than me. But the way I would do this problem is to figure out what two quadrants I must be in to make my triangles. Sine is negative. All students take calc. Those two are places where sine is positive, and therefore I must be here. And I kind of make it amorphous, as in I can't tell for sure what angle that is. But if you draw your triangles really skinny, it's not a good idea, because you don't know yet whether this is a 30 or a 60. I mean, you shouldn't draw your triangle really skinny. You should draw them kind of on the large side, so that could pass for a 30. Or if it was a 60, it wouldn't be that bad, you know what I mean? Or if it's a 45. So make your triangles kind of like nebulous. You can't for sure tell. Then we can look and see what actually is that angle. Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So they actually didn't give me an angle, they gave me sides. And one of them is supposed to be negative. There we go. I'm getting there. 1, 2, and what's the other side got to be? I know this one. 1, 2, root 3. And then what's across from the 1 is the 30. So is my answer 30? No. If my answer was 30, I'd be over here. 30 is part of it, but it's this whole thing. So it's a whole bunch of 30s. So it's 30, and then I'd get to here, and I'd go pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4, 5, 6 pi over 6 would get me to here. This spot would be 7 pi over 6. That's one of your two answers. I think a lot of you got that wrong. Tell me. Raise your hand if you had that one right. All right. We got to work on that one. Okay, we'll come back and do another problem like that in a moment. But now I'm going to do the other spot where I could have done this. In this quadrant, again, make your triangle a little nebulous because you don't know for sure what angle that is, except I kind of do now. Do you get if it was a 30-degree angle here, that the other one's going to be the same thing? All right. Okay. I went really fast. But your job for tonight is to go back to the assignment that I gave you last night, and I want you to do the next 2 pages on that same assignment set. Okay? So we're not doing anything new for today. Just take the same assignment, do the next 2 pages. Have a good day.